Good morning, everyone. It's the Green Goober. Goop, 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 goop. Today we are going on a very, very special Goob venture. So fasten your seatbelts, which I've already done, and get ready for the ride of your life, because we are running errands for the French Mafia. Specifically, we're running errands for the father of my friend Pierre Lefort, Monsieur Lefort, who, now, I'll be honest, this is kind of a clickbait title because I don't know for sure that he's in the French Mafia, but I would be, I wasn't born yesterday, and I've noticed a lot of things that just have given me that indication. So, lucky for you, I already did errand number 1, which was go to the dentist and get the thing. I have everything that we need to do today written down here in my Moleskine notebook. Now, Monsieur Lefort said that I had to make it illegible in order to be able to write it down. So you're not going to be able to read any of it, but I know exactly what I wrote. That's a little trick that I used to do when I was an angsty teenager. I used to write down horrible, heinous things in my notebook, but I would make them, so it was sort of like my little code. I don't know if any of you have ever done that. So number 1, go to the dentist, which I put in quotation marks, because I thought it was going to be like some mob nickname, but apparently it was an actual dentist, because it was a dentist office, and it was a guy who had a patient, and he was like, sitting in the chair. And I said, hey, and I was dressed as the Green Goober, which I also is there is a reason why I'm dressed as the Green Goober, which I'll explain in a minute. And he gave me Thing 1, and I was kind of nervous because I was worried that it was going to be Thing 1 from Dr. Seuss, and I've already got kind of a thin rod this morning, so I was worried that I was going to have a little person in the back seat. There's nothing wrong with little people, but I was worried I was going to have a little person in the back seat going like, which really would have warned my patience. I have a thin rod, like I said. So anyway, I went to the dentist and got Thing 1, which I'm not allowed to show on camera. Thing 1. So take a wild guess what it is. It's a cheesecake. No, it's not actually, but Eddie, maybe blur the bag. I don't know. No, you don't have to, Eddie. Don't. Never mind, because Cheesecake Factory is good, so I don't mind giving them a little, advertising. So we went to the dentist and we got the thing. I guess I should cross out the quotation marks because it was an actual dentist. Next is, I can't really read this. I think that says toddler Jen. Oh, follow Jean. Yes, follow Jean, which is our next order of business. And we got to get moving because time is of the essence here. And it's rush hour, so we're going to be stuck in effing rush hour traffic, which I'm not excited about. But that'll mean that we have plenty of time to shoot the breeze together. And I'm sorry, I cannot... This fucking stupid goober head, I cannot wear this when I'm driving because the goob horn gets caught on the ceiling of when I'm moving my head around, to do over the shoulder look or what have you. And so the goob horn gets stuck on the felt of the roof. And then it's sort of like my head stays in the helmet or the headpiece and then rotates in the helmet. It's just a disaster. And then it smears the face paint all over my face. So unfortunately, I cannot wear the goob helmet, the goob head, while I'm driving. But don't let me forget to put it back on when we go to Jean, because that's very important for the, basically, the whole reason why I have, and I realized the other day I haven't actually made a Green Goober video on YouTube. The whole reason why I have to wear the green Goober outfit is to protect my anonymity, because apparently that's something that's really important to the Lefebvre dynasty. I don't know what you would call it. Again, not a crime family. I don't want to throw out any accusations because I don't know. I mean, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum for how they make their money, because all we're all trying to do at the end of the day is just pay our bills. So my pet peeve. I have a couple of pet peeves. One of them is when people pull up to the stop sign and they act like they've never seen a stop sign before in their entire lives. And they just sit there and they're like, oh my God, what do I do? Oh! You go in the order that you stopped. I'm sorry. I'm trying really hard to have a positive attitude this morning. I hate the rain. That's why I live in LA. So I thought that it wouldn't be a problem, but it is all the time. It rains like 5 days out of the year. It kind of stopped raining though, actually. It's a May Gray Day, classic May Gray Day, which is a reference to the marine layer phenomenon, which is particularly bad in May and June. So sometimes, okay, we can go, there's nobody there. May Gray. Oh, I guess there was a pedestrian crossing. Sorry. Good thing I didn't honk. Okay, somebody's just stopped in the middle of the road. That's great. The most dangerous thing about driving when it rains in LA is not the rain, it's the other people who don't know how to drive in the rain. For some reason, everybody freaks the fuck out. And I always just want to say, this is a PSA. If you live in Los Angeles and you don't drive in the rain a lot, you drive normally. You drive the same that you would if it was dry. You're just a little bit more careful. A little bit more. I would say you should be 10% more careful driving in the rain than you are driving normally. So, go a little slower. Be mindful of the fact that if you have to stop, you're going to hydroplane possibly. So try not to stop, I guess, is my biggest advice. You don't have to drive like little old Miss Granny Pants. Anyway, so you're probably wondering how I got in this situation, right? Skirt! You're probably wondering how I got in this situation. That's an old movie joke. Sometimes, I don't know if you've ever seen a movie where it goes like skirt or like skirt when it's like the stopping record. And it says, you're probably wondering how I got it. Like it freezes, like skirt. You're probably wondering how I got in this situation. And it's like a guy, with I don't know, pancakes on his head or something. So you're probably wondering how I got in this situation. Basically, Pierre, oh my, you fuck! Sorry. There's a guy in the middle of the road with a shopping cart full of cans. Par for the course. Okay, so did I already say that? Okay, sorry, I'm kind of trying to keep track of everything that I've said so far in this video. I have a friend named Pierre Lefebvre, who some of you probably follow on Twitter. He's into film making and film crap. He also has been working with me on a documentary. And so I would consider us friends. I would consider us pretty good friends. Pierre and I, when you're friends with someone, I think that, certainly probably in some more conservative cultures we would be considered gay, but not in my culture, not in the world I'm living in. I don't know if any of you have ever seen that. It's a reaction GIF. that it says not it's Laura Dern, who was in Jurassic Park, and she's like, not in my world, not where I'm living in, not in my not in the world I'm living in. And it's just supposed to be like, it's like, yeah, I'm not in the world I'm living in, But basically, I explained in a previous video, sorry, do you ever get just like a really, really, really intense surge of self-hatred that just feels like your entire body is like pulsing? One of those just happened. But I've learned to kind of just, let them come and then pass. And keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop doing what you're doing, Dan. Just keep doing what you're doing. It too shall pass. I'm doing it. Sorry, I wanted to make the yellow light. It's getting hot in here. How the hell is it getting hot? This stupid Goober costume. Ugh. I think Monsieur Lefort just puts me in it because he wants to fucking jerk off to it. Which would be ironic considering his regressive attitude towards human sexuality. Basically, I was over Pierre Lefort's house, and when you're with your guy friends, you I don't know, when you're with your guy friends and you're doing stuff, I was saying goodbye because I was about to leave. So I was saying goodbye, Pierre, and Monsieur, who is his father, walked by at a moment where I can understand why he probably was confused about what was going on, and I didn't have time to explain what was actually happening. I didn't have time to explain, no, I'm not gay, this is not what it looks like, because he just had I get it, he's protective, So he was trying to protect his son. So he got a gun. Oops, I don't think I'm supposed to say gun in YouTube videos. He pulled out his blank. Well, that doesn't really sound good either. He pulled out a weapon. And he started chasing me to my car. And I was trying to say, no, you don't understand, I'm not gay, this is not what it looks like, no homo, no homo. I don't know if anybody says that anymore. I got in my car and sped away, and I thought that was going to be the end of it. Then I see his car, he's following me in his car, and he's shooting out the window of his car. So I'm sort of trying to get out of the way. And it was rush hour at the time, which I was trying to avoid leaving at rush hour, that was not normally when I would have left and gone on the road, but because he was chasing me with a thing, I had to, I didn't really have a choice. So I got on the 101, which was completely jammed. And so Monsieur was about 3 cars behind me. And he was, firing into, and all the bullets were going like bing and hitting people. And I think he hit a coyote. I don't know if it was somebody's dog or what, but eventually I think he got sick of sitting in traffic because it was standstill traffic. I mean, we were not going anywhere. And if you've ever gotten on the 101, in the middle of rush hour, you'll know what I'm talking about. So he just exited off the freeway and went back home, I guess. So after that, a little incident, I sort of said, I was a little concerned, because he seemed very upset. And I was worried that he was going to try to retaliate in some way or finish the job. So I described a lot of the next part of the story in my video entitled, Pierre's Dad Came to My House with a Machete. Basically, Pierre's dad came to my house with a machete. And I'll do a very, very quick recap of that video in case you don't want to go back and watch that. He was my roommate. I had sort of goaded him into shaving his head and his eyebrows so that he would resemble me. Because I told him he would look good. He didn't. And so that way it sort of was like I had a doppelganger who was sort of going around and could maybe pass as me, because I had a fit. Pierre called me and warned me and said, hey, he's going to come to your house. So, and I said, well, when's he going to come? And he said, I don't know. He's just going to show up and you're going to have to deal with it. Thankfully, he ended up killing my roommate because he thought he was me. So I thought the situation was over. I have been working part-time at a coffee shop, and he came into the coffee shop one day and asked for a coffee, and then he recognized me, pulled out his gun again, shot everybody in the coffee shop. Well, not everybody, but he might as well have. He shot all the cool people. And he also shot the milk frother. So they had to go out of business, partially because the owner was shot, but also because they didn't have a milk frother. And apparently those are really expensive, so it's not like they could just get a new milk frother. So, yeah, that was a shame. And then, what happened next? Oh, so I tried to set up, what would you call it? I wanted to make everything simpatico, So I said, listen, what do I have to do to sort of end this situation? What do I have to do to make sure that I don't have to worry about this happening again? Because this is very stressful. The idea thinking that I'm probably that some crazy French guy is going to be following me around and trying to kill me all the time. I already deal with enough anxiety in normal everyday life. So I cannot have this happening too, because that's just going to set me over the edge. Although interestingly, now that I say that, I have noticed that a lot of times when things that are actually bad start to happen to me, I'm cool as a cucumber. It's only when I'm dealing with normal life, that things, that I have anxiety, which I would consider above average. Trying to ask for ketchup at the diner, I start having a panic attack. But when a French guy is chasing me in a car with a gun, shooting at me, I really, honestly, I was kind of amazed, because I was not, I was scared, but I also was like, well, at least this is something to do. It's killing time, So anyway, we're going into, man, it's really raining today. We're going to a place called Rancho San Rafael, which is where Jean lives. And also, hopefully, I'm going to get a chance to use the restroom at his house, because I have to use the restroom. And we also have to get the thing. Thing 2. And I'm assuming we're going to have to use thing 1 to get thing 2? I'm not totally sure. We're just kind of playing it by ear here. Thing 1. And I'm surprised, I mean, because this is a pretty nice neighborhood, so clearly, I mean, you kind of have to be a millionaire to own any house in California, but clearly he's doing well for himself, you know. Jean, I mean. I also wonder, you know, not that I'm going to do anything. Well, actually, you know what? Ugh. Did I even bring my AirPods? No. Shit. All right, I need to make a, hang on a minute. I need to make a self-help call. Because I'm unclear on the instructions. All right, bear with me, folks. Sorry. Hey, monsieur. I just had a quick question. I'm at Jean's house, and I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do. Because I know that you said talk to him and get thing 2, but I don't really know what that means. And so I'm sorry if maybe you did explain it and I just didn't understand. But if you could give me a call back and just clarify that. Okay, see you later. Okay, well. All right. Oh, I don't want to do this. It's just so wet and gross. All right. Let's get goobed up. I don't want to do any of this. Oh. Hi. right. Well, the deed is done. And we got what I assume is thing 1, or thing 2. Let's see. I just want to see what it is. If I'm doing all this, I hope I get to see what it is. It's a bunch of kava tinctures. There's like 100 in here. Look at this. Look at that. Odd. Well, all right. Jean, rest in peace. We hardly knew you. Wonder if I could ask if I could live in his house now. It seemed like he might have. It seemed like some other people might live there. He had some. There were some, children's toys. Okay. All right. Well, all right. Let's go. Next, we have to, sorry, I'm just sort of, I don't know. I know it's not a big deal, but I don't know. Okay, sorry. I am fine. This is what you have to do when you are in the big leagues. And it is totally fine because I think that he was an asshole anyway, I think that he was a jerk. Oh shit. Hang on. Sorry. Monsieur is calling me back. Hello? Yes, hello, Monsieur. How are you doing this morning? Don't kill him. Don't as in do not. Okay? Okay. No, I didn't. All right. Yeah, I got the thing too. Yeah, I'm coming over now. Yes, I am going to stop at Whole Foods. And is there anything else that you want? Okay. Well, I'll see you later. Well. Oh well. That's life. These mob guys anyway, it's like, God only knows what's going to happen. Like, who's to say that I even was the one that did that, It's just a hazard of the job. Okay. Well,